Echo Guide and how to play with him to the fullest. If this video will make you realize why most of the pro players ban Echo, then I succeeded. Having said this, subtitles are available and timestamps as well, if you wish to skip the very basics. For the loadout, you will want to use his silenced MP5 and usually Bearing 9. For the secondary gadgets, both are useful, but in ranked, you will probably find more use in the barbed wire, as there are not many rotations or line of sights required in the ranked. In the competitive, there are way more things to open, therefore impacts are a solid pick, especially if you're bringing an echo instead of a smoke, and then you lack the smoke's destruction. Now, I should be talking about his bio, as every other creator do, but I will let you do it. I'm more into his gadget. He has two yokai floating drones that can stick onto the ceiling, or desks. Once it is on the ceiling, you can shoot people with the drones with a blast that stops any animation and makes them a little bit dizzy and darkens their screen. You can do it 2 times in a row with one yokai drone. For each shot, it requires 20 seconds to replenish one charge. It deals 0 damage. Trust me, you're going to like this because this is something that nobody knows, and it is kind of important. 2 yokai drone setups. Let me try to stun myself with a closer yokai drone. Nope, I was not stunned. Let me try to stun myself by hitting the ledge of the chair. Works. That's weird, right? Let's now hit the same spot with both yokai drones, and you will be amazed. How to explain this? My best bet is that the burst wave has a rectangle but in 3D. And why is this important? Because under certain situations, when you don't have enough time to actually see the planter, you know that he's about to finish it off, you can easily stop the plant without even seeing him with the yokai drone. When your yokai is on the ceiling, it gets cloaked. But it is not invisible, it is just cloaked. This means if attackers have IQ who is on the roof and spots your yokai drone, it won't be hard for her to communicate her way where your yokai drone is. Exactly what happened in the G2 versus Chaos match on the cafe. Speaking of being shut out, if you shoot with the drone, your drone becomes uncloaked for a moment, and the propagation of the wave blast is visible. Consider moving your drone after each blast. I have indirectly touched one of his jobs in the round, which is stopping animation, or more precisely, stopping the plant. Before I continue to talk about that, he's picked for way more other reasons than just stopping the plant. Suppose of having 2 yokai drones in the objective, or one in objective and the other one in the pocket, is flat wrong in the most situations. So, in a game that attackers will most likely waste around 2 minutes dealing with the roamers and getting the map control, and then the last 30 seconds for the execution, they are usually left with just 30 seconds to get the plant done. You can stall the plant for 10 seconds with one yokai drone, which is very huge. You also allow your team to deny the plant with either C-Force, like on the console's garage when attackers have multiple options to start the plant, and you have to guess which one of them, such as behind the white van, black car, or the corner. Or on cafe, when defending cooking and service, when most of your plant denials cannot even safely reach the planter. Yokai drone saves the day and your round. Also, just because attackers have more than 10 seconds to plant, this means your team has at least 16 seconds to push the attackers somehow back. This is more than enough for a defender to retake the train control and not to allow attackers to plant instead of the cooking anymore. So, an important note here is, just because you won't win by the time the yokai drone denied the plant, doesn't mean you shouldn't be using it. You're buying your team's time, and this is only with one drone. Make it 26 seconds if you have 2 yokai drones. Before the tips, let's now talk about his primary role. His primary role is to feed the team with the intel, usually roamers. Let's check the following pro clip. In the clip, you can see Yokai going to the VIP to scan the area for the Legion. Retaking is extremely hard on coastline, and even with all the information that Legion have, Trico is just better. However, an important thing here is Echo used one of his Yokai drones to get destroyed, just so Legion possibly could have retaken the site. Try to make a parallel here with my cafe example, in cooking and 16 seconds. How often do you see in a pro match that Yokai drones are not in the position to deny the plant? This is a huge misconception from many people, even from some of the casters, as you will be able to hear in the clip in the background. And before that moment, mind how both Yokai drones were off the objective.
But there's Pengu, finally secretly. The Echo's gonna drop down. He has a Yokai out, and it's not in position. And the Red Groove is gonna abandon it.
Want more misconceptions on how to play with Echo? Well, let's check out the clubhouse clip when Echo is risking his Yokai drone just for the sake of someone's run out. Everyone, raise your hand if you think that the play was dumb. I will have my hands down. In the following clip, you will see Yokai drone being sacrificed just for a possible castle flank, which won't happen.
Zu laufen, irgendjemanden in die Arme zu rennen. KS hier mit Draven unten, halt nicht mit dem Bug am Start. Bug wäre natürlich eine gute Alternative, aber was hat der Bug nicht mehr? Keine Granaten. Also dementsprechend keine Alternative.
Or just checking out if closer to the cafe was clear. I had loads of examples of Yokai drones not being an objective, but to be sacrificed just for the intel. So, next time, when you tell your friend how to play Echo, make sure to let them know how Echo is supposed to give intel and just in the late round stall the plant. The issue is, let's go back to the clubhouse. How on earth would you deny the plant if attacker will have everything under the control? They will have lunge, garage, and the open CC wall. Sure, you might try with the C4, which just might kill the planter, but what after that? Echo can just stall the plant and nothing more. It is close to impossible to retake any of the room once takers get the control of it. It is important to note how denying the plant as Echo is very important. But that is just the last piece of the puzzle to solve. And one more thing before the tips. Echo's role. Is he supposed to be the objective, or he is better off the objective and roam? The good thing about this question is that you cannot be wrong with the answer. Echo, due to the long range possibilities right now, can play both. Usually you will see him in the objective around the cover, so he can be on the drones to help their roamers, as previously mentioned. But let's see the two examples of when Echo was roaming or was denying the map control. While we watch, be aware of his Yokai drone placements. They won't be an objective as the average Joe would say.
You can see the sledge there just in taking advantage of every
Okay, the conflict clip has something interesting to show, which is breaking up the top part of the soft wall so Yokai can see more. This is done very often, like on the Oregon's attic wall as well. With just one Yokai drone, you can see bedroom push, as well as attic. Another tip would be, break the bottom part of the soft wall as well. So instead of Yokai drone being forced to go for a doorway on an unexpected position or a drone hole, make your own paths. This will also make that you will more quickly get from point A to point B, which can make a difference between winning a round and losing it. When positioning your drone, make sure that IQ cannot destroy it from above or below, like on the Borders example. Another dangerous combo against Yokai drone is IQ and Thatcher, as, going to the coastline on the VIP's hallway, IQ can see the Yokai drone from the rooftop, and Thatcher with the EMP can disable the Yokai drone from the roof. That means your Yokai drone will drop onto the hallway, and an attacker will have an easy time destroying it from the roof. If you're about to place it on the same hallway, make sure to stick it by the wall, so the moment it drops, it is still safe from the roof. Many people are unaware of, but the Cabbage can hack your Yokai drones. Echo is no longer invulnerable to the Cabbage. Many people will tell you how putting Yokai drone on the doorframe is a very bad idea, but it is not. A finite amount of times there was a Yokai drone on the top of the bottom spiral stairs in the consulate. Speaking about the positioning your drones, you can use them very aggressively, like a literally invisible camera in the lobby, on coastline, or in the toilet bedroom of villa when you're playing games in Aviator. That way, your roamers will have all the advantage about what is happening around them. If you ping them, then attackers will know that they are being spotted. So sometimes not pinging them is a better way than pinging them. And that way, your roamers will have all the advantage about what is happening around them. If they're not pushing through your Yokai drones, the good thing is that you can always move them, and you will usually move them to the top of the red stairs, as that is where you expect attackers to push. Speaking about moving Yokai drones, don't move it 24/7, as it is pretty audible. Smoke with a combination of Echo is very powerful, because Smoke can buy time for Echo to move his Yokai drones to the default plant spot. Sitting on your drones for the entire round is totally okay, no matter what everyone else says. And that is why you want to make sure that you have yourself covered. That is usually done by your teammates. He's also great for the retakes, as previously mentioned. One more thing is, you can way easier spawn peek with the Yokai drones, especially if you ask a teammate of yours to be on it. Your drones can be attached to the windows very safely. About that, C4 and Yokai strat is pretty powerful. And now, let's see a few powerful drone spots, like on the bank. Would you like to see Echo mini duo Q, triple Q strats? Let me know down in the comment section below. And make sure to like this video up. Thank you for watching this video and staying with me for this long, and thanks all the patrons and YouTube members for making this video available. If you want to learn all the basics and advanced things about the siege, make sure to give me a like, subscribe and notification bell to get all notifications from my channel. Make sure to give me feedback down in the comment section below.